Hey, if you watch my channel, you know that I'm transgendered. You know that I'm a man in a female sort of assigned gender body, and I'm not using hormones right now, but I think about it. I think about using the hormones. And so I was having some funny ideas because as in my past videos, I've come out to my coworkers, but now I got like a promotion sort of thing, and I'm just not very comfortable about my transgender identity in my new work situation. And so I was thinking like what if type situations. I was, because when you've used hormones and so you look like, let's say, a man, and then you tell people like, hey, I used to be a woman, they're like, no way, oh, that's so weird, do you have a vagina, all kinds of questions like that. But if you're a woman bodied person and you say I'm a man, then people are like, oh, that's interesting, you feel like you're a man, oh, and there's this different kind of energetic response. It's kind of in disbelief or like trying to comprehend from this certain perspective. They're like, oh, I've been treating you like a woman, but you want to be treated like a man. It's like, no, I'm not want to be treated like a man, I just am a man, it just is. So anyway, then I was thinking, wouldn't that be funny? Or like, what if I was like, I used to be a man, would they treat me more like a man than they do now? Would they be like, oh, you used to be a man? What? So do you have a penis? Oh my god, that's so strange because I've been treating you like a woman but really used to be a man. Oh, I'm so weirded out by that. See, but that would then maybe then some people would treat you more like a man than they would if you're like, I was born a woman but really I'm a man. They'd be like, oh. See, so it's kind of funny. But then another funny idea I had was, what if, wait, I gotta remember my idea just a second. Oh yeah, what if I started using hormones to transition, and then, but then I just said that I had a disease, and it was horrible. I was like, oh god, I think my voice is getting deeper, and I'm starting to grow hair on my chin, I think I'm having some weird hormone thing. Yeah, I just went to the doctor. They said I'm changing into sort of like the equivalent of a biological man. Would people be like, oh, that's terrible. Gosh, we love you. You must be going through something so hard. Because, see, it's like the sympathy is kind of what a trans person deserves, sympathy for being in the wrong body, but you don't get it. And when you transition, people are like, oh, it's so weird. Oh, or they're like, oh, I've never met someone who's had going through a sex change or whatever. And, there's all these these kind of different reactions, but pity is not usually one of them. But if it was like a disease, like, oh, you're transforming into a man, whoa, that must be weird, you must feel kind of like a freak. Because, sometimes as you go through, well, sometimes in a trans person gender lifetime, you do feel like a freak, either, when you're in one body that's wrong, or when you're kind of, going through the process and you go through the awkward stage or whatever, but you don't get pity, you get this like, ah, that person's a freak judgment sort of thing. So it's funny to just play with these different ideas of energetically how people would respond differently.